A number of the poems in this manuscript, in this book, it's hard for me to believe it's actually a book because it's been quite a while coming out, try to take advantage of the fact that I was a fiction MFA, not a poet. Still trying to figure out why anybody published any of my poems and why I can't get a prose book published. I thought I was a fiction writer. So what I've done is sometimes they're not ghost texts within the same poem, but they are simultaneous texts that may be within brackets or parentheses. And if I have one of those, I'm going to make some sort of motion with my hand, for those of you who are still conscious, to be aware that I'm doing some weird offshoot. This one is, and some join the military. The soldier poet recalls, that's my funky one. In the open wound, the sun's breath on his lover's neck is the clavicle, a place to build a tent and crawl inside. Howling sand, vegetable swamp, humid lisp here, pea green air there, and air traffic stopped today due to volcanic ash. Yesterday, last week, the week before, and before, it was a body in the wheel well. And how silly, we think. Ash circling the globe, and the cruises canceled because the flights with the tourists couldn't arrive. And says, here is where the world ends. He carries a dead limb, alive with image, not in a bag, but in his arms, like a baby he will someday have, like the father who has survived 15 years of shaking recollection of his son's near death in that bombing. Oh, it doesn't matter which one. If you've forgotten, there is sure to be another one. At that event, at the high school, in some town in South Dakota, whisper it, and it sounds like every high school in America. Somewhere, there is a boy finding his way out of something in the small, open-faced grin of another boy in uniform who scored high marks in people skills, in his ability to convince, cajole, get close to, and close the deal. He doesn't carry a gun because he doesn't have to, and it may seem cheap to say he does just as much damage when he promises the other boys, and sometimes girls, that they will carry a gun, a big fucking blaster of a fucking amazing gun that can blow the fucking commies, gooks, roaches, sand fleas, krauts, teachers, other motherfuckers away and with them. The blown seeds already germinated in the new recruit's mind of no other fucking way to get out of this town, or the fucked up family, the alcoholic mother, or the sad depraved one, or the stupid one, or the father with no job. Oh, sing James Wright of that terrible galloping, the suicidally beautiful, or the incest, or the not smart enoughs, or the no friggin' jobs. 8,000 people turned out today to apply for a job at the new Applebee's on Washington Ave in No Hope, Arizona. 1,000. And each one somebody's kid or father or mother with a smile and a clean shirt gone sweaty and gray in the hot, long line of what the fuck I bother for anyway. Read that as motherfucker, I didn't get the job. I wasn't good enough. I didn't have the money. I got pregnant. I got her pregnant. I did that awful thing to the kid next door. I dreamed of being a hockey player. I played video games all day long. I played so I wouldn't cry. I burned my arm with the cigarette because I couldn't. Damn. It's called, actually the title is a Wikipedia thing. In physics, Radiation describes any process in which energy travels through a medium or through space, ultimately to be absorbed by another body. I have no fucking idea what I was researching that day, but that's the title. And the first line of the poem is, "That's the title of my poem," which is not a public poem. There should be no public poems, like going to ice hockey or Barnum and Bailey or even Cirque du Soleil with its hard bodies and exploding balloon heads and money from the suckers who think they're cooler than the audiences for NASCAR or wrestling. I think I don't want poems like cans of beer, but like reliquaries. Poems like the teeth of the dead in catacombs, like the 1,000-year-old vines growing at Angkor Wat. But this is not an Ars Poetica. It is a plea to fund research for space travel, pay for art programs, pray for rain in hot places and new stove technology in all third world countries. I want poems like a cure for malaria, poems in the chemo bag at the chemo cafe where the cancer patients line up like people with tickets to the circus. Give me poems like radiation tattoos, breast, rib. I know someone who had anus cancer. Think face down, ass up. Don't tell me that doesn't suck, but don't tell me that isn't funny. I want poems like that. Energy passing through space, absorbed by another body. To save her life by almost killing her first, so we can sit on the porch and have a few beers, toast each other, find a way to go on. Okay, so 2 more poems. Hello, beloveds. Fomentation, which is what you all are doing, what I hope I do a little bit of. Today it is snowing again, and somewhere Jerry, you know the Jerry I'm talking about, somewhere Jerry turns 85. Sure to be gnarling a girl's sweatered forearm between his meaty hands, snorting about how beautiful it all is, and reading some of Lucille's living poems, celebrating every day that didn't kill her, now that she's gone. And the person who is wearing the sweater, who hates the cold, who is young and maybe uncertain, and as yet unauthorial, and maybe even a little, for now, lazy and dazed, wanting only to slip off that sweater and scour their skin with the skin of someone else, will feel those bone fingers, those knuckle gems, those hands that have rubbed the spines of thousands of books and kneaded the bread of his own rising, will feel the small warm cave inside themselves, and a part of them will uncurl into it, engage in the dark funk of her ownness. As Jerry chortles, memory is dangerous. It's only in the caves and the patches of fragrant weed and the wasted things that one can think and roam inside the bony bag we all become. But together, in the walking out or the lying in, the moving through, the seeing and the listening, the eating and the drinking, we are an insurrection. So thank you so much. This is so fun. I love you all. I love South Jersey.